Once again, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our webinar on effective product development processes with PLM. So we're extremely excited on this end to have you with us today, and thank you for joining the ERP Guru team for the webinar. Well, so this webinar is organized in partnership with Autodesk, and without further ado, what I would like to do is to start introducing your host for the next hour or so. So hopefully everybody has had the time to join and can see the screens as well. On our end, so my name is Gabriel Maréchal. I'm the channel manager for ERP Guru, and I'm responsible for different alliances and partnerships. I'm here with Julie Labrec. Julie.
Good afternoon.
Julie is our business solution specialist and PLM expert at ERP Guru. So today's webinar will last roughly 40 to 45 minutes, and we'll have the reminder of the hour to answer any questions that may come up. So again, feel free to post the questions in the GoToWebinar control panel that you have on your computer. In this session, we'll outline what product lifecycle management, or PLM, is, and how it can enable manufacturing companies similar to yours to make your product development processes more effective to all product stakeholders. Before we start, just a bit of housekeeping. So for the duration of the webinar, we will mute all lines to avoid any background noise. But feel free to send any questions, comments, or anything like that in the questions panel of your webinar. We'll review all the questions at the end of the session. So again, feel free to post them as they come to you. This session is recorded, and we'll make the recording available in the next few days. And also, if you're on social media, feel free to follow us live on Twitter, or just continue the conversation after the webinar using the hashtag PLM360webinar. So first thing first, a quick word on ERP Guru, so that you know who we are and what we do. We're actually specialized in cloud-based solutions across several industries. We choose to work with the best of breed, most innovative and cutting-edge cloud software management tools that help keep our clients ahead, be it with regards to ERP, so enterprise resource planning, CRM, customer relationship management, or PLM, like in the case of today, product lifecycle management. We shop the market for premier cloud solutions so that you don't have to. At ERP Guru, we provide personalized attention to our clients by really focusing on your needs, your wants, and developing long-term relationships with you. Through the years, we've been recognized by the industry, being, for example, a 5-star partner 4 years in a row with NetSuite, or being named on various top 100 solution providers and VARs lists. In terms of the way that we approach projects, we believe in creating the best client experience as possible, really putting your needs and interests at the center of what we do. So we've developed a very flexible and dynamic process that sets us apart dramatically from the competition. And really this ensures that we cover all areas that are linked to implementing modern technologies. In line with your business goals and strategic initiatives, we will review applicable business processes, make the technology work for your business, and help you manage change and transition throughout the company. And on this note, I'll stop with the marketing slide, and I'll pass this on to Julie so that she can jump right in the core of today's session. Julie?
Excellent. Thank you, Gabriel. So before we start, well, actually to start this webinar, I'd like to tell you a story, right? 'Cause who doesn't like a good story? So this story is about a company called Porex. Porex has about 600 employees, and they manufacture porous plastic products. So these things are basically used everywhere. They're on the end of a marker pen, for example, or for air fresheners, and also for medical devices. So Porex products are distributed globally. And they have design and manufacturing facilities in several locations. So one of Porex's primary business goals was to double revenues in 5 years. However, each location they have was using its own project and product development systems. So they were essentially acting like dysfunctional sister companies that couldn't really share product information and processes easily. So those systems were also pretty basic. They were using Microsoft Excel documents or spreadsheets, Access databases, shared drives, and so on. So synchronizing all that data across international locations was difficult and very time-consuming, even sometimes impossible. Simple access to product information was always an issue, and this was getting in the way of Porex's plan. But like any manufacturing company, the product development process at Porex was not, was not rocket science. So from a great idea, they wanted to be able to develop it through different stages, on time, on budget, and respecting the initial requirements, and take it out of the door to a happy customer. But to achieve all this, many activities need to be efficiently coordinated across many departments. Usually, it's the new product introduction process that drives the development cycle. And then you have sub-processes, you have tasks, you have activities to complete, and to make sure that everybody will make the right decisions, well, they have to have easy access to the right data and to the right information.
So Julie, this seems pretty straightforward on paper, but at ERP Guru, we are collaborating with a lot of companies, and for many of them, this product development process always seems to create a lot of headaches and pose many, many challenges.
Well, you're absolutely right, Gabriel, and remember at Porex, just having multiple locations and multiple file-based systems to manage these steps made this straightforward process, as you said, make it very complicated. So just finding product specs was becoming a nightmare. In fact, spending too much time searching for information is pretty common across the industry. McKinsey & Company published statistics that, on average, workers spend 1.8 hours every day. That is 9.3 hours a week, guys. And that is spent just searching and gathering information. In other words, it's like hiring 5 employees, but only 4 are actually working, while the 5th one is just searching for the right data. This is one of the problems that Porex was experiencing, because information was either locked in different silos, or because there was no information on the creator himself, or because the data was just not updated. So not having easy access to the right and the latest data is definitely a very expensive challenge. So let's come back to that development cycle that we were looking at a bit earlier. So because of all these challenges, the results are not, always as expected when projects are not completed on time, when they're going over budget, or when they're not meeting all of the requirements defined at the start of the development process. So that happy customer that you have right here, along with all the business that goes with him, well, this can quickly disappear. Well, I have good news. We're not here to talk about issues. So let's start discussing solutions.
Julie, despite the issues you just mentioned, it seems to me that most companies have been able to achieve tremendous results with their current processes. However, my understanding is the market is shifting right now, and in order to reach their business goals, companies not only have to get the right products out, but they have to do it faster than ever before. To do so, they need to be agile and react to change quickly, right?
Gabriel, this is a great summary of the current situation. At this very moment, manufacturing companies of all sizes are completely redefining how products are made. As you said, Gabriel, these companies need to move fast and to be willing to change, because status quo is no longer an option. One of the most powerful and effective ways to stay in front of the pack is through the adoption of a product lifecycle management, or PLM solution. So now I just want to clarify, a lot of people associate PLM with the engineering department, but a PLM solution really is an enterprise solution that goes beyond that engineering department and that manages all of the information, the data, the knowledge, processes around a product or a design project, from concept to delivery in one single common environment accessed by, can be accessed by everyone involved in it. For example, yes, your core engineering data, like your components and assembly details, like your bill of materials, well, they are handled by PLM. But also, you have any information about how the product will be manufactured and assembled. The other product data or process owned by purchasing, by quality, by the sales departments, as well as the requirements, are also driven by PLM. So the key thing to remember here is that PLM brings together that information and those processes associated with all stages of a product's life cycle, from the initial requirements, to the initial requirements definition and capture, and all the way to in-service and even beyond that. PLM really provides an up-to-date single version of the truth around a product for all stakeholders across the organization. The benefits of PLM can be pretty huge for many companies. So first of all, the PLM system is the common place to go for all product-related information for everybody in your company, not only the engineering department. Then it helps standardizing processes as well as decreasing time-wasting activities. With one system, well, no more duplicate data across multiple systems, no more wondering if that data is up to date. That's over. Finally, you know how something you need to enter some, sometimes you need to enter some data twice because you have two separate systems. Well, PLM helps you avoid that because it's, a single system. This all adds up to better utilization of your company staff. Remember that workers spend an average of 9 hours per week just searching for information. What if you can minimize that? You'll have the ability to get products to market faster, and the resulting products have a better quality due to decreased risk of making mistakes. Because of these, your customer satisfaction will be higher and your business will be more competitive. In short, PLM can help you be more profitable. In fact, here are some figures from a pretty famous and established industry analyst, that is CIMdata, and that represents the value of PLM to a lot of manufacturing organizations they have surveyed. So I'm not going to go into details on this, but you can clearly see some significant metrics here. For example, up to a 50% reduction in getting products to the manufacturing stage faster. Engineering changes up to 70% faster. Product development costs reduced by up to 40%, and a massive 70 to 90% reduction in the time wasted looking for information.
Wow, these are very impressive metrics for sure. Julia, I'd like to pause just for a moment and remind all our guests that there's a question box. So if you have any questions for the webinar, feel free to enter them in the questions panel. And again, at the end of the session, we'll review and answer all the questions that may come up. So Julie, you just described what a PLM solution is and what it can do for an organization. I'm assuming there's many options out there. And so how would a company go about identifying the best package for them?
Yes, Gabriel, there are definitely multiple solutions, multiple PLM solutions out there, as you mentioned. Everybody on the line, you can just try to Google PLM, and you'll be just overwhelmed by the number of different vendors that offer good solutions. So usually, more than one solution can fit a company's business process or business processes. The difficult part is always trying to find the one tool that will match those specific business needs, but also the features you're looking for, the delivery method, the cost, and how scalable the solution is. So, as Gabriel mentioned at the very beginning of this presentation, ERP Guru partners with top-of-the-line cloud-based software solutions, and this is why we have decided to partner with Autodesk for their cloud PLM solution, which is PLM 360. Traditionally, PLM was reserved for big companies from the aerospace, the defense, and the automotive industries. These PLM solutions were complex, they were on-premise, so you need a lot of infrastructure and server and databases. They were costly and time-consuming to implement. So the smaller manufacturing companies didn't have the choice but to use Excel spreadsheet. There was nothing else out there available that was accessible for them. And Autodesk PLM 360 came around 2012 mainly because there was no other choice for these smaller companies. And believe me, I have worked for big on-premise PLM solution vendors. I've spent many hours, weeks, or even years configuring systems, trying to figure out how to integrate things with, other systems. And when I first used PLM 360, it was a little bit more than a year ago. So when I first used it, I was absolutely amazed by how easy it was to use, but also to deploy. So what used to take years, really years to implement, can now be implemented within a few weeks or months. PLM 360 by Autodesk offers key benefits over those big traditional PLM solutions. So first of all, PLM 360 is a cloud-based PLM product. It's purchased via a very cost-effective subscription model. And being cloud-based, there's no expensive hardware to buy, to install, no internal infrastructure required. So the product that you have in front of your eyes is always up to date. So again, no expensive and disruptive software upgrades every year. Another advantage of being cloud-based is that PLM 360 is available on any device and from anywhere, so can be accessed equally well in the office or out on site, or when you're stuck in traffic. You don't need that VPN thing anymore. If your organization is located in multiple sites, this makes collaboration between these sites very straightforward. PLM 360 is available to all subscribers with a full range of capability. All of the PLM tools you need are freely available to all users if required, so no need to buy additional modules as you expand your PLM footprint to address new requirements in different parts of the organization. It's all one package. And finally, PLM 360 has been designed to be easy to configure, and I'm telling you, it is easy to configure. So it's very quick and cost-effective to develop a PLM environment that is going to fit your very specific business needs.
Well, this is a great summary of the many advantages of a PLM solution in the cloud, for sure. At this point, I'm sure, as all our guests are, everybody's eager to see what Autodesk PLM 360 looks like. Would there be a way, Julie, that you can show us?
Is it that time? Is it that time of the webinar? Yeah, we're gonna look at the actual PLM 360. All right, let's do it. So I'm just gonna close the presentation down, and I am, as you can see, I am in my Google Chrome. It's a web browser. It can be pretty much any web browser. So I am on my PLM 360 URL address, and this is the ERP Guru PLM 360 tenant that we're going to take a look at. So it's pretty straightforward. You just sign in, and enter your email and password. It's just like logging into Facebook, and it takes you to your PLM 360 homepage. So this homepage is the page you'll land on every morning when you start working. It really gives you a high-level view of what's going on today in your PLM 360 environment, ecosystem, what's going on in your company as far as product development is going. So I'm going to take a look at this first section at the top that is collapsed. I'm just going to expand it. You have a bunch of charts here. So for many companies, the only way to know what's going on right now is through a long meeting where all, the managers or products or owners are going to provide their status. This is long and this is not time effective. So this dashboard in PLM 360 allows you to display up to 9 charts that are meaningful to you, to your role. So if you need to monitor the number of change orders over time, for example, or if you want to follow how your products are progressing, these charts give you the visual and the data in real time, of course. The other section I'd like to take a look at is called My Outstanding Work. So anything that requires your attention in the system right now is tracked in your outstanding work. So if you need to take action on a product or approve a change request, for example, right here, well, or review a prototype, well, it would just show you that list of tasks that you need to complete, and it will not go away until you actually do it, perform it. And you can see that it's also flagged with different colors, meaning if you're still on time, this one is the due date is approaching, and I am almost a year late on this last task right here. So it gives you a good visual cue of your priorities. So let's look at the product development. This is a product development webinar. So let's look at this product development tool that we have in PLM 360. So I'm going to take a look at the products workspace, which is basically the space in PLM 360 that gathers all information on your top sellable SKUs or your products. So when I enter the products workspace, you see that I get a list of all the products I have right now in my system. You can filter this list, show only the products that you are managing, that you are the product owner on, or only the products that are late, for example. And this list gives you the full visibility of the development progress. So you have the current state right here. So you don't need to hold that big update meeting anymore. You can go in and look at what's going on in real time. So let's look at one of these things. So I'm just going to click on the GT220. What it does, it opens the actual product record, and all the details for the GT220 are in this record. Any attribute on the details tab right here that you can see, any attribute you need to capture to describe and classify your products will show up on this details tab. You can easily add or modify any of these fields. This is very easy to do. So you can make sure that they match your own product definition for your own company. If the details tab is not enough, if you need to capture more, well, there is the attachments tab that you can use and leverage for your company. So any additional document related to your product, whether it's a PDF, whether it's a spreadsheet, a Word document, or even a drawing, can be stored right on the product record. So you don't need to create a bunch of folders on some files server that you won't find anymore. Everything is under the same roof. You can see here that PLM 360 has an embedded viewer to enable other departments, for example, like marketing, to see your 2D and even 3D data. And they can add comments to them pretty easily. So it really opens up your engineering data to the other departments in your company. The marketing department doesn't need to install the big CAD software that the engineering department is using. And even if they had it on their computer, well, they don't know how to use it. So this really brings all the data to the rest of your company. So I'm just going to close this one down. And you can see that I have also PDFs and other documents that are attached to this product record, the GT220. So this attachments and the details tab as well allow you to store your product information at the right location and easily find it. But now let's see how you can manage the actual product development. If I select the approval workflow, or the workflow tab, I'm just going to get some more real estate here. All right. Workflows are one of the most powerful capabilities of PLM 360. They allow you to capture your business processes and automate them in the system. And the best thing is that you don't need to comply to the built-in workflow. Since PLM 360 allows you to modify standard workflows, the ones that are readily available and that are built per industry standard, or you can even create your own workflows. So every phase of the product development is defined here as in a stage gate fashion. So from concept all the way to production and even obsolescence. As mentioned previously, you see that the workflow takes place, across many departments of your company. So concept will be basically handled by marketing, whereas development will be engineering and so on. With PLM 360, you can define your project team and approvers that will automatically be notified via their dashboard that we already took a look at when they have to go and review the work. So they can take action instantly by approving or rejecting right here. So they can take action. And when they do so, all the comments are tracked in the workflow on the right side of the screen. So you keep the history of everything that has been done, by whom, and why those decisions were made.
So this is great, Julie. So it really replaces the meetings that typically you have to take each step of the way to make sure that everybody is on the same page and everybody approves it, right?
Yeah, exactly. So you basically keep track of everything, all the history, everything that happened throughout your product development. And you even have the state at the very top of the screen. You know exactly where your product is at right now. And in order to make each of these stages go forward, well, you can create tasks, and these tasks will be tracked in time. So if I look at the tasks and deliverable tab, so this adds visibility on the key tasks and deliverables of the product development. Those tasks, they have a start and an end date, and they can be assigned to other PLM 360 users that will be in charge to complete them on time. Now, if I just go back on the approval workflow, there's obviously, the development phase where all the engineering is taking place, and where the bill of materials will be put together. So it's possible it's possible to link the top level BOM to that product record right here. So it will always show the latest and greatest revision. And from this view, if I just expand the bill of materials, you can basically drill down to any of these items that make up the bill of materials. So it's easy to navigate from one item to the other and see the relationships between all of these items. So this webinar is focused on product development. If you need more details on the BOM management, or even if you're wondering about change management in PLM 360, please give us a call and we'll be happy to discuss. But for the sake of this webinar, I'm just going to go back on the very home page. And I just want to emphasize that PLM 360, as you saw, is really one single system that gathers all your product data and related processes and make it available through the whole organization, anywhere and on any device. So I will just go back on the presentation and we'll keep forward. So I'd like to look back on the Porex story. You remember Porex? And you remember how they wanted to double revenues in 5 years, but they were facing quite a lot of product development roadblocks, such as data silos and lack of collaboration. So Porex adopted a cloud-based PLM solution with Autodesk PLM 360 to help unify their global product development team through providing a single environment for product information and related processes. They wanted to improve the transparency of projects across all stakeholders, enable better reuse of data to save costs, and generally provide everyone with instant access to up-to-date product data and real-time product development processes. They're, continuously making their system better, but they're already seeing great results. This is a list of sample customers. Many companies are currently using PLM 360, and this is, I can tell you, it's a very small list. It's a sample of the organization that chose PLM 360 to improve their product development processes. ERP Guru is collaborating with Autodesk pretty tightly, and we have participated into PLM 360 implementation for quite a few companies on this list.
So Julie, many of our guests on this webinar are probably asking themselves the same question at this point. If I want to know more, what's the best next step, and who should I talk to? Where should I go?
Well, I'm glad you're asking, Gabriel. I was just about to talk about it. So I'd like to point you in the direction of our dedicated ERP Guru website. So you can reach us at www.erpguru.com. I also strongly encourage you to visit our blog at blog.erpguru.com. We have a lot of information on PLM 360, as well as the other cloud products we implement, that we integrate, customize, and support, that are NetSuite for ERP and Salesforce for CRM. So we are extremely active on social media as well. Connect with us on Facebook, on Twitter, on LinkedIn for updates on our great company. Autodesk PLM360.com is obviously another great source of information on what PLM is all about. They have a page specifically focused on the concept of PLM and how it can help you improve your product development process effectively, as well as all the other benefits you can potentially get from PLM 360.
Well, thank you, Julie, for all this information. For the benefit of our guests on this webinar, I'd like to just put our contact information again here. And obviously, if you're watching this webinar, feel free to contact us if you have any questions or comments. We're obviously here to help. If you would like to know more about Autodesk PLM 360, explore your options with us, or discuss more specific questions. At this point, we'd like to probably open the floor for questions. So we'll look at the different questions that were asked throughout the webinar today. I've seen that there was a couple asked already, so I will look at them in order. Feel free to continue asking other questions as they come to mind for the benefit of the whole audience, or simply send us more specific ones by email. So looking at the questions, I see a specific one that was asked multiple times, and I'm really not surprised that it was. So how much does this cost? And so the pricing model for PLM 360 is typically a very simple software as a service model, meaning low upfront costs, no capital expenditures, and no install. Most companies go with the PLM 360 Pro license, which is a $75 a user a month, and it's as simple as that. And obviously, if you have employees, suppliers that may need only read access to the system, there's also a participant users that's cheaper than the base license users for this. There's another question that comes out more than once from what I can see. So I'll just put this in context. ERPGo is obviously also a solution and service provider for Salesforce and NetSuite. And it looks like we have a few of our NetSuite customers on the line right now. So many people have asked that they already have NetSuite as the ERP system, and they're wondering where the PLM and PLM 360 would fit in. Julie?
Yeah, I'd say what's important to remember is that PLM complements other enterprise systems. It's not there to replace any of those systems. So by enterprise systems, I'm talking about maybe a product data management system or PDM system, or as mentioned in the question, the ERP, so the enterprise resource planning system. So I really want to make sure that everybody understands that PLM is not there to replace anything, and I'm actually putting together a few slides that I have on this topic, and I'm just going to place them at the end right here. So, all right. If we take a look at the typical timeline of product development, so we have the requirements all the way through in service. We see that there's the PDM where it fits in. It really is. It's tied to the design engineering. So PDM, as you already may be aware, is a means of managing primarily design data, often CAD files. It takes care of the different revisions of that data and assembly structure. It's really CAD focused. And also, many of you have an ERP solution in place, such as NetSuite. This tends to come around the production stages, so it manages the operations, the finances, and the inventory sides of things. However, PLM is far wider in scope than both PDM and ERP. And as I mentioned a moment ago, it manages information and processes across the whole product lifecycle, from initial requirements right through to in service. So what resides where? The key to making these solutions work for you is using the right tool for the right job. You wouldn't use PLM to do what ERP should do, such as manage the physical shipping to and invoicing of your customers. And in similar way, you wouldn't use ERP to manage what PLM is designed for, such as the new product development process that we've been talking about for the last 40 minutes. So just keep in mind that PLM, PDM, and ERP will typically coexist in an organization, and when implemented properly, well, they will complement each other pretty well. So this can be better said than done, and this is why partnering up with a good solution provider like ERP Guru will help a lot.
Well, thank you for putting these slides up. It's actually a good timing because we just had a question from Justin. Looping back on this topic, I already have NetSuite. How can I connect it with PLM?
Yeah, Justin, that is a great question. So Autodesk and NetSuite, so your PLM and ERP, they are very strong business partners. They are collaborating pretty tightly to make sure that their systems are working well together. So the very first step when you're still pretty new at PLM 360 and or NetSuite is to really understand your data flow. You need to understand what you want to connect with what. So we usually recommend that you do a few simple exports and imports between systems so that you can get your process under control. And once this is all understood, proven, mapped out, it's very straightforward to integrate both systems. there is the Autodesk PLM 360 Connect. That is the tool that will allow you to create that connection between PLM 360 and NetSuite. So PLM 360 Connect is the integration solution designed by Jitterbit, and it really simplifies what used to be complex integration. So we're talking about a few days here, max a few weeks, to build a complete integration between systems, and this is very powerful. This is definitely the go-forward solution between NetSuite and PLM 360, but also between PLM 360 and many other systems that you might have out there, even Salesforce, for example. Also, I'd just like to discuss the fact that PLM 360 exposes a big set of APIs, so those application programming interfaces. And with these APIs, you can execute programmable services via the web, and you can program very custom solutions or build connections. So you have a lot of possibilities out there for connection.
All right. Well, thanks, Julie, for this explanation. And actually, we were getting, I guess, a lot of interest on that initial question about, interacting the different systems. I'm getting one that's attacking the problem from the PDM angle, so product data management. Sorry. So the question is, I already have a PDM. Why would I need a PLM?
So the thing with PDM is, yes, I mean, it manages your engineering data, your CAD parts and your assemblies, your drawings, and your engineering revisions. So PDM systems usually assume that the BOM coming out of the CAD, the assembly structure, is the BOM that will be manufactured. I mean, if it's the case, if the BOM that you get from your PDM is also your manufacturing BOM, the one that will be in your ERP, well, this is perfect. In this case, you might not even need a PLM unless you want to manage other processes with other departments outside of engineering. But I'd say that most of the times, the engineering BOM needs to be massaged a little bit before it goes into your ERP. And before the whole purchasing and work order processes can start. So your engineering BOM will most likely be combined with electrical items, with labels, with painting, instruction manuals, any other consumable, and PLM really allows you to manage this complete BOM. So that's the BOM that manufacturing wants in your ERP. But please don't hesitate to contact us to discuss your specific processes, and we can determine together if PLM would be a good fit for your business.
Well, thanks to all our guests. There's definitely some great questions being asked today. Well, another one that's quite interesting is, so since it's a cloud-based solution, mobile users, so everybody going around, are hoping to get more and more features at their fingertips, right? So the question is, what does the mobile app look like, and is there such thing as a mobile app?
Yeah, well, unfortunately, I'm trying to. Yeah, I don't have a good screenshot handy. But what I can say is that PLM 360 mobile app is available for both iOS and Android, so you can download it on the App Store and on Google Play as well. And well, from this app, what you can do is you can check your dashboard, you can see those charts, you can see your outstanding work and all the actions you need to do. You can even do the approvals that you are requested to do if you're on the road. You can take pictures when you're in the field, and you can attach it to your work. So there's a lot of things you can do just from your mobile phone.
Great, and obviously we'll follow up after the webinar with specific details on that question to the gentleman who asked it. I'm looking at the list of questions. We pretty much answered all general questions. The specific ones we'll get back to you after the webinar, just to make sure that we properly address them. There's a couple that may need more attention or more questions. If there's other questions, feel free to use the questions box again in the GoToWebinar panel. But if there's none at this point, I'd like to obviously thank everyone for participating for the session today and making it extremely interactive at the end. Thank you for all this. I'm looking at the questions. Apparently nothing is coming on, so I guess I'll conclude the webinar at this point. Again, feel free to follow us on social media. We're there on Twitter. It's live. The conversation is going on. Feel free to visit as well both the ERPGuru and Autodesk website and our blog at blog.erpguru.com. And on that, I'd like to thank you. Thank you, Julie.
Thank you very much, everyone, and Gabriel.
And enjoy the rest of your day.